What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Joe B Productions. Today I just want to give you a little tour of my studio, some of the equipment I'm working with, some of the software I use, that sort of thing. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So firstly, this is the dojo. I know I said this was about the studio, but in order to get to the studio we got to come through the dojo. So perhaps one day I'll go over a video going over some stuff in here, how I like to train, that sort of thing. I'm going to do some workout videos, some tutorials and workouts you can do from home, that sort of thing. This is Bob. This is my buddy. He helps me take out some aggression. So, all right, let's get into the studio. We're going to go through the gateway here. And this is where the magic happens. This is my setup. Little addition on the building we built back here. This used to be a chicken coop, believe it or not. So, all right. So firstly, just set this up. This is going to be the Joe B podcast station. Got two new mics. Got my laptop set up in front of the green screen. So be looking out for that. Got my webcam there. Cowboy hat. I mean, come on. First mic we got here, MXL 3000. My buddy recommended me this mic for vocals, and it did not disappoint. First headset here, we got a Tascam TH03. I'm gonna be honest, those aren't anything special, but they're just used to, you know, for whoever's recording vocals, that sort of thing. Guitars. Firstly, the BC Rich. I've had this thing a long time, and originally it was my friend's. He gave this guitar to me when I was about, I don't know, 13. I gave it back to him when I was around 17, 18, and then I just got it back last year at 29. So this guitar has been around a little while. Acoustic guitar, first one. This one's called a Standard 101. It's not anything special. First guitar I bought after I joined the military. As you can see, Alan Rosa likes this. Secondly, let's check this guy out. This is called a Greg Bennett. A guy on my ship actually just gave me this guitar, I believe, when he was moving. Got a nice color to it, nice sound to it. Out of tune a little bit. Recently got this guitar here. This is called a PRS. And I didn't hear about these guitars until I actually went to go buy it. And I think the staple of PRS is these birds on the neck, which kind of sold me on it. But this one's an acoustic electric, so I can plug this guy up. Moving on, bookshelf. We'll start at the bottom. Nothing special down here. Junk drawers, foam pads. Next drawer, got my man Derek Rose here. Couple harmonicas, Flint magnifying glass, a couple pairs of shades. I did want to talk to you guys about these right here. These headphones, if you're a runner or if you like to work out, I would highly recommend these headphones. They're called Aftershocks by Aeropex, I believe. But you put these things over your head, I mean, as you can see, like, you can just squish them. They pop right back into place. They will not fall off your head. I don't care if you're sweating, because these don't actually even go in your ears. They just sit right outside of them. So I would highly recommend these if you're into working out or running, that sort of thing. Trust me, I went through the ringer with headphones when it comes to running. Next, got my man Goku 3D printed. Got my man Kratos over here 3D printed. Joseph Blackwelder. Bookshelf, I ain't gonna go through all these books. If I had to recommend any of these right off the top, David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me. Highly recommend that book. I don't want to sound cliche when people say I read this book, it changed my life. Well, it changed my life. Next book I've got to read is The Book of Five Rings. Really kind of excited to get into that one. Top shelf, nothing. A couple snacks, a couple Rubik's Cubes. Got my couple Spartan race medals here on each side. You know, a couple little races I did over the years. Top shelf, got my sister, rest in peace Jet. Got her on the top, so she's looking down on me when I make this awesome music for you guys. Couple tapestries I got for Christmas. This one, the Japan one, I actually got in Japan while we were there. So, a little cool story behind that. I mean, not really a cool story other than I got a Japan tapestry in Japan. You know, got the foam pads. First piece of gear we got here. This is a MPK 249 MIDI controller. Awesome piece of gear here. You got your faders, you know, for your different channels. You can assign anything to these knobs here. You know, disable or enable each track, play. You know, you got your drum pads here, keys. Really good piece of gear. Right here, Logitech. Can't even remember the exact model. You guys got to bear with me. Logitech G something. But yeah, got the e-brake, got the shifter. You know, gas, clutch, brake. It is fun. I was playing Forza on it a while back, and I'm telling you, PS2 used to have one, and when you would turn that wheel, it was just all loose and everything. When you hook this thing up, you can actually calibrate it, and when you whip the car sideways and let go, it will correct itself, which is awesome. Moving on. First mic I got, this is called a AKG P5i. Not the best for recording vocals, but if you're just talking, podcasting, I mean, nothing wrong with it. Sounds good. I'll go ahead and tell you about the speakers. We got some KRK. I guess you'd call this a Rokit 5. I don't know, but they sound awesome. Got them on speaker isolation stands. Makes a big difference. A bigger difference than I thought. PC. If I'm not mistaken, I got this thing a while back, but I believe it's the Ryzen third generation. Does really well for rendering video and processing. 64 gig RAM. I'm not a computer guy, guys, so like I said, bear with me. It does its job. It serves its purpose. Next, got the Novation Circuit. The cool thing about this piece of gear is that it can be used as a MIDI controller, or it can be it's its own standalone piece of gear. It comes programmed with sounds. So I don't know if you guys can see here, but on the back we've also got audio in and out. So you can hook this thing straight to speakers, and it has sounds programmed on it, and you can also sequence. So you don't have to have a computer or anything. You get this piece of gear. It's even got a speaker in the back. If you get this piece of gear alone, you're making beats. I mean, just like that. USB hub. Got the Stream Deck right here. This thing comes in handy. It's mainly for me, you know, it goes alongside OBS, the software. If you want to change scenes, you know, if you want to switch from this webcam to this webcam, etc., it's the click of a button. You can also attach sound effects to these buttons. So my plan is to, when I do the podcast, I'm going to put this guy on the table back here, and as I'm doing podcasts, I can click to switch cameras, click to add sound effects, that sort of thing. Next, this is a Launchpad Mini. I believe it's a MK3. Awesome piece of gear here. Every single one of these buttons, you know, can be programmed to like MIDI. You can attach sounds to them. It works really well with Ableton, the software I'm using. If you're familiar with Ableton, you know, each one of these is a scene. So if you have sounds in each of these, from here, one button click and you can launch every sample across these scenes, which really comes in handy. Or like I said, you can attach sounds and play this thing. Drum pad, whatever you want. 64 buttons there. So next we have the Launch Key Mini MK3. This is the single most used piece of gear for me in my studio when it comes to making music. I mean, you got the drum pad, you got the keys, knobs that you can attach any effect to. You can also launch, if I'm not mistaken, I think you can launch the whole scenes from here as well. It doesn't have as many keys as over here. However, I mean, we still got octave buttons, so we can go up or down. Alright, interface. Really important piece of gear here. This is a Focusrite Scarlett 3rd gen, or it's the 18i8. So 4 inputs, which double as mic or audio. However, the first two have this instrument here. You see where it says INST. So they have different premixers on the first 2 inputs compared to the other 2. So you're going to get a slightly different sound when you plug in like a guitar or something right here. But really awesome interface. This thing, I mean, you got your main volume right here. I got two pairs of headphones hooked in here. This is the headset I use if I'm listening in while other people are recording behind me. These are HD 280 Pros. These are actually really good headphones. All right, moving on. This is a Akai Rhythm Wolf. It is a drum sequencer. I'm gonna be honest, I don't use it much. I got it from a buddy of mine. Who always helps me with my studio and gear and how to use things. He's a genius. I've used it a little bit. It's not a bad piece of gear. It can. The cool thing is it's a drum sequencer with its own sounds, but it can be used as a MIDI controller. So if you attach your kick right here, you can put any kick sound, and then you can attach any effects to these knobs. If you use it as a MIDI controller, it is really cool. It's got its own, change your tempo here. PS4 controller, that's what I use for my gaming on PC. Again, that's Ableton Live 11. That's what I run all my music out of. Over here we got Wondershare Filmora. This is my video editing software. I do have Adobe Premiere, but I'm going to be honest, I'm really familiar with this one, and it does everything I need it to. In my opinion, underrated video editing software. It's awesome and very user-friendly for video editor. This guy here, Roland VT3, this is a vocal effects processor. Similar to, if you plug your guitar through a pedal. Similar thing here, just with a mic. So as I'm talking, I can change the effects on my voice or the pitch, or as I'm live speaking through that mic, I can just add reverb like hello. So pretty cool little piece of gear. I don't use it really to record music. However, stuff where I'm going live or perhaps on the podcast, I'll be ran through this thing. So on the fly, I can add effects to my voice, which is really cool. Got the air duster over here. These drawers down here, more junk drawers. Got my printer here. Write all my notes down, that sort of thing. Got my another webcam right here. Another spare webcam right here. Up here is my cameras. Got my Pentax K70. Really good camera. I won't go into too much detail on cameras right now. What I'm filming with, my favorite camera, is the GoPro Hero 9. And this thing that I'm filming with, it is awesome. Really crisp video. Also does extremely well slow-mo shots. It can film up to 240 frames a second, which is outstanding. It also has a cinematic mode where you can film in 4K. However, I've noticed that if you film a 1-minute clip in 4K, well, it takes forever to render that video and to export. So I typically do 1080, still looks fine. Over here, I believe I got this guitar 2 years ago, or 3, right when I got my first setup for my studio. I don't know the exact model, but Ibanez, awesome guitar, love this thing. And a couple lights, but filming in front of the green screen, got to get the lights right. The most important thing is shadows, like you can see here. So, but that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed. And if you got any questions or anything, feel free to reach out, drop them in the comments. I'll go in more detail on any equipment you want, or Ableton Live 11 or Filmora. If you guys want to know any tips or tricks to how I edit my videos, that sort of thing. And until next time, peace.